went through the protocol through the weekend, and he was in practice yesterday, and he was full go today, and he's moving well, and he missed some time, so there's gonna, these days are very important for him, his practices, so far so good.
And with obviously Colorado, Utah coming in, I know USC had the losses, and I know it's one game at a time, but I mean, just this stretch of this final stretch, how do you feel the team spirits are? I mean, just where you guys are at in the standings and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a gut check week for us, just where we stood and what had happened with some of the losses recently, and to be able to go on the road, without Warren and take care of business like that, against a Stanford team, that came back 2 days later and beat Arizona. So, yeah, I mean, we feel really good about what we've done on the road. I mean, we have five true Pac-12 road wins, so we've done a great job away from here. It'd be nice for us to finish the season on a good note at home, and there's so much to play for. Obviously with the standings being real tight, trying to get into that top four.
And then with Colorado too, I mean, obviously the huge comeback. I know you said after the game you've probably never been a part of a comeback like that, but yes, they're coming in to win, but you feel obviously a little more chip on their shoulder with how the game went down in Colorado?
I'm sure, and that's added incentive, but Tad does a really good job. His team's going to be very prepared. They've shown when they're right and they're playing really well that they could beat anybody. I mean, they went and beat Tennessee and beat Texas A&M by 30, and have had other really good wins. So I have a lot of respect for them, and certainly they have two of the better young players in the conference with KJ Simpson and De Silva, two of the top scorers in our league.
Last time you guys played Colorado, it was a really tough game, and if it weren't for some big plays down the stretch, it could have become a loss. And it was at the start of conference play. What kind of takeaways do you take from that game into this one as you head into the final stretch?
Yeah, I mean, it's we've put ourselves behind the games, and we managed to scrap and fight. And I remember how hard the guys competed, and we were able to really will ourselves back into that game. And it was I remember DJ, it's still clear in my mind, driving baseline, and he could have tried to shoot a contested shot at the basket, and he made the right play and threw it to Dez for a wide open three, and we got a great win because you feel like you're stealing if you could go into Boulder and win. It's such a tough place to play, not only the opponent but with the altitude and everything else. So. But yeah, and I remember, we didn't have Frankie, and so this will be his first game versus Colorado. So be interested to see how it plays out.
Shooting percentages haven't been great in recent games. Are you worried about that at all, or you think once Warren comes back and you've got more of the inside-outside threat, that'll help?
I think the balance does help, and being able to throw him the ball and get high percentage shots when we can. So certainly that's going to be in play. I think for those two games, we were more like outside in the whole way and trying to penetrate and attack from the perimeter, where with Warren we could do some other things that we can if he's not available. So I mean, I think that had something to do with it. I'm not putting it all on him not playing, but I think hopefully we'll play better offense.
Obviously, a handful of games left. Are the guys pretty hungry now? I mean, you got to win basically a lot of these games now.
I mean, it's I touched on there's a lot to play for. The spirit in practice was good yesterday, and especially today. And so, I mean, coming off a couple of wins, you feel good. You got confidence. I think we have to have something to prove to ourselves, though, just in terms of taking care of our home court. This is our last opportunity, and we have senior day obviously on Saturday. So, there's so many subplots to this, but ultimately the most important thing is we have a really good record. We're having a good season. We have some key games in front of us to close out the regular season, and just try and win as many games as possible.
Duke has showed you a lot. There's games earlier this year he's picked up a couple fouls and maybe hasn't gotten to play as much, but the last weekend when you really needed him, he stepped up. Yeah, it was. I think it's a great experience for him, and going into the week, as for me, you don't sleep good knowing you're not going to have Warren because he's what he's meant to the team all year. But on the flip side, now that you could look back on it and see that we were able to win both games, and
and Duke, gets that extra experience of playing more minutes. So as we're moving forward and our season's on the line, at a certain point, if Warren's in foul trouble or something's happening, there's certainly more trust that you can put him out there and he can get the job done.
Coach, to kind of piggyback off that, I mean, with Duke, but with the rest of the bench, I mean, from the start of Pac-12 play, at least till now, how do you feel that the depth and the bench play has grown for you?
Yeah, I thought in addition to Duke, and I know he started in the last game, but Alonzo Gaffney was excellent in his last game, just 13 rebounds, and his defense, he was very, very active. So I liked what I saw from him. Hopefully he continues to build off that because he had a wide open three, and I trust him to take that shot in the second half versus Cal, and it didn't go down, but it never stopped him from playing hard and making winning plays out there. So that was good. And Austin has been really consistent, providing a spark, coming off the bench, great defense and being a playmaker, and and then we got to get Jemiah and Luther going.
At this point in the season, does having seen Colorado already but not Utah kind of adjust your normal preparation for a Saturday opponent?
Not for me. I mean, we've watched both teams, so we were aware of what each team is doing. More focused on Colorado, and that's just normal how we look at each week. So we're not really practicing things to focus on Utah. It's Colorado, has our full attention.
With senior day coming up, what does it mean just to, obviously your seniors have made such an impact on the court, but what about off the court with that veteran experience?
It's great for them to have the moment, and it's a tough moment. It's you're always like conflicted. I think you're excited for the future and what's next, and for these guys, at the same time, you're gonna miss it. I know they will, looking back on it and say, wow, it was a good experience. Wish it could have lasted longer. And then they'll have their families there and friends to support them on this last game. So it's always like a tough, emotional type of game for these guys.
Coach, Desmond and Devin lead the plus minus for you guys in Pac-12 play. Just how assuring is it? Is there a load lifted off your shoulders knowing you can just rely on them every game?
Well, I mean, they've been very productive all year, and they all bring different things to the table, both of them. So they check a lot of boxes between the two of them in terms of just athleticism, hustle plays by Devin, offensive rebounding. You could look at Dez's rebound in the right corner, where he just went all out to save the ball and keep possession for us. They make winning plays. They have a great feel for playing together, and they're playing winning basketball, so it's not surprising that you would say that.
And down this stretch, how important is their leadership with their experience?
I think that's huge. I mean, you can tell how locked in Dez is. I think he knows that this is his last go around. Like it's real for him, and you can see just how he's turned it up in terms of his practice, how hard he's practicing, how he's talking in practice, and then Devin just is a winning player, and he did it at Auburn, and he's doing a lot of those intangible things that coaches love, and so both of those guys are definitely playing winning basketball.
With the
Coach, does it seem like, in regards to the seniors, does it seem like the years just go flying by for you?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to ask them. I was telling one of our assistants, I can't believe there's only 5 games left. Can't believe there's only 2 home games left, and so it always just flies by. That's just the nature of it. It always feels that way.
the final 3 games of the year at Arizona, UCLA, and USC, it's a pretty tough stretch on paper. So with these final 2 games here at home, how do you think the team needs to perform to get themselves ready?
I think we got to build off what we just did, and it depends how you look at things in life. We've won 3 out of 4 now, and we played a good game versus Oregon. We just didn't make enough plays, and our defense wasn't good enough at the end. But so we've been good the last 2 weeks. We got to keep finding another gear. We got to keep playing better. We got to expect to play better this week than we did last week, and that's got to be consistent the rest of the way. If we're gonna achieve what we want to achieve and play for things that are meaningful at the end. And I think now we're playing teams that give us an opportunity. Like, all these teams are good teams, so there's an opportunity to get better. There's an opportunity to win a big game in our last 5 games.
There's always that thought of, you know, looking ahead to those great opponents like you mentioned. Are you emphasizing to just stay present, or are they thinking just about this game?
I talked about the fact that we, have not, dominated teams at home. Like, we haven't really, like you would hope, and we lost to some good teams here, but you want to take care of business on your home court. We've done more than our fair share of work on the road so far in Pac-12. We just haven't won enough of these home games. This is our last opportunity, so that's kind of been the message.
Anything else?
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach.